Yeah, just if any close for conference,
I always do.
Okay, so you'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Stephen Alson, full-time Devils. This is the full-time review. Manchester United have drawn again at home. This time to Swansea, making it 14 draws for the season. And do you know what? Yesterday, after our match, it felt like Manchester United was completely out of it, that we was not going to be getting that top 4. And then Manchester City dropped points. And it's possible Liverpool can still drop points as well. Which means that, actually, we're not technically out of the race. But let me just throw this at you. Those 14 draws, and that's Stoke, Liverpool, Burnley, Arsenal, West Ham, Everton, Liverpool, Stoke, Hull, Bournemouth, West Brom, Everton, City and Swansea. Just one of those draws making a win. And we are third in the table. It feels grim at the moment, and 14 draws is ridiculous. But that's how close the margins are. Just one of those and we would have been comfortably in the top 4 and people would have been a little bit more relaxed about how they feel about Manchester United at the moment. But as it stands, we're looking at 8 injuries with varying degrees of seriousness. We don't know when some are coming back. We don't know when this guy's coming back. And now we're facing a Europa League semi-final and then Arsenal and Spurs, where we need to be picking up wins in all of those games. And when you take out Ibrahimovic, Pogba, Mata, Bailly out of this Manchester United team, the standings aren't good enough. And to some extent, I think you've got to lay the blame at Mourinho for that. He's had the opportunity to rest players. He's had the opportunity to substitute the likes of Bailly and Pogba prior to them getting the injuries that they picked up, and he chose not to. He's had young players sitting on the bench, but he's had no intention of playing those young players. Yesterday, when Darmian comes on for Bailly, Axel Tuanzebe has the perfect opportunity to show this Old Trafford crowd and Jose Mourinho what he can do. And Jose chose to bring on another fullback, play somebody else out of position, and basically effectively have a defence of no defenders. Or no defenders in the right position. So that tells me that Jose Mourinho does not trust this youth. And that's the one thing that I've got to criticise him for. If I've praised him when he's had excellent tactical performances like he did against Chelsea, then I also have to be critical of him when he's not adhering to the Manchester United way in terms of playing some young players. Ultimately, it's not been good enough. Speaking of the game yesterday though, Manchester United were dire. There was individual mistakes all over the place. And I have to call out Marcus Rashford. It was a dive. I've seen a lot of people saying it wasn't a dive, there's contact. It doesn't matter if there's contact, and I'm sick of the argument that if there's contact, it doesn't mean it's a dive. Did he over-egg it? Did he simulate anything? It doesn't matter. Just because it's a contact sport, lads. Come on. If you touch them, it doesn't mean that you're allowed to just do whatever. It's still a dive. Marcus Rashford dived, but it's only news when a Manchester United player does it. I'm seeing Manchester United, Marcus Rashford, diving and all the sort of stuff on the back pages of the papers today. Nothing did I see of the sort on Friday after the derby when Sergio Aguero made a brilliant Tom Daly impression. Only news when it's United, and it's not good enough. The fixture list is against us now, and as I said, this Manchester United squad does not look equipped to deal with it. I'm going to come to you guys in the comments as soon as Jose Mourinho finishes what he's got to say, but Jose is not happy about the fixture pile-up. Check this out.
So imagine if we go to the FA Cup semi-finals, we would be playing Tottenham the last week. So last week when we play Burnley, that Burnley game would be also a game to play later. When we would be playing that game against Burnley, because until the end of the season we are going to play every 2 days, every 3 days. So when would we be playing against Burnley? You know, after the FA Cup final, in June, in next pre-season, when would we be playing this game? So in the end was a bless that we didn't play the FA Cup semi-final, but we go again to the same problem. You are punished because you are doing well, you know. And if we beat Celta, we have the final. In this moment is obviously hypothetical, but if we play the Europa League final, the Europa League final is on the Wednesday, and we play against Crystal Palace on the Sunday. And before that, we play Southampton away 2 days before. So they want us to play the final, let's say, with all the respect with Celta, it's just an hypothetical situation, but we would be playing the final in a disaster consequences. You know, so again, maybe this result is also a bless, because maybe I can bring Nicky Butt and this team to play against Crystal Palace, and hopefully Crystal Palace doesn't need the game to stay in the division, because would be very, very bad if they needed the points for us to play with the under 23s. So it's difficult, but again, the players, they give everything. I'm very happy with them.
That's what Jose had to say. Here's what you guys are saying in the comments. Peter Sidley says, all those stonewall pens that we should have had. Yep, people are pulling out all sorts of stats, like United have had X number of offside goals, but there was 20 plus decisions that went Manchester United, or didn't go Manchester United's way, that could have gone Manchester United's way. I'm not even talking about those. All I will say is that refereeing across the Premier League this season has been horrifically bad. And yes, there's a lot of you pointing out that Sané dived to get a penalty against Bury yesterday. Nothing's being said about that, of course not. Manchester United are the news. We're the ones that get the clicks. Guled says, Jose doesn't trust the youth. If Darmian gets injured, he will play Carrick ahead of Tuanzebe. You're probably right. John says, great call, Stephen. The lack of youth coming through is obvious now, and it's disappointing because these players that have had opportunities and been sat on the bench and he's just not chose them. How are these lads going to get a chance if it's not when someone gets an injury and you're thin and you're on the bench? When else are you going to get given the opportunity? And I think the players that have been on the bench would have been likely to step up and take that opportunity as well. Right, let's have a look what Statman Dave has got to say. Here's his 3-point review from outside Old Trafford.
Hello, welcome back. Statman Dave outside Old Trafford, and this is the 3-point review. First up, let's talk about the Old Guard and how they didn't perform against Swansea. I'm talking Wayne Rooney, and unfortunately I'm talking Michael Carrick. Firstly, Michael Carrick wasn't good enough in possession. Too many backwards passes, too many sideways passes, putting his teammates under pressure, falling into the Swansea pressing trap, which ultimately cost United in that final third. But let's talk about Wayne Rooney. He had a terrible, terrible, terrible game. Failed to create a chance, failed to obviously complete a dribble. The foul he gave away for the Swansea free kick was absolutely atrocious. Only completed 81% of his passes. For me, Wayne Rooney is kind of done at Old Trafford. He was massively off the pace. His passes weren't finding his targets. But I think if you're looking at what, his link up with the attackers, with Anthony Martial was a big one. Both Michael Carrick and Wayne Rooney just weren't finding him, with Michael Carrick finding Wayne Rooney 5 times in the entire 90 minutes. And of course, Michael Carrick only 4 times. Compare that to Henrik Mkhitaryan that played 10 minutes. 3 of his passes, of course, going to Anthony Martial. So I think it's a big thing where Man United need to evolve their attacking sense, which moves us on to number 2. United may need to look abroad to evolve their attacking game. You're looking at the likes of Atletico Madrid, RB Leipzig, Monaco this season, all playing in a 4-4-2. Potentially that is the future for Manchester United. Marcus Rashford next to Anthony Martial, playing direct passes in between the lines, but also using their fullbacks to provide that width in the final third. Man United did well with Ashley Young, with Anthony Martial on that left-hand side, but they didn't get the ball over there enough. And to finish things off, of course, with Manchester United struggling to get to the top 4, it's all on the Europa League. But what Man United need for next season is a little bit more flair in central midfield. I think with Paul Pogba in there, you've got a great guy of switching the play, controlling the tempo and so forth. With Ander Herrera, you've got that guile, that aggression. And number 10 is needed, whether it is someone like Andres Pereira coming back for Granada, who's had a fantastic season. In a side that's been relegated, he's the only bright light. He's completed more dribbles than any other player under 23 in La Liga this season. He could be the guy, or of course it could be Antoine Griezmann, or potentially James Rodriguez. I'll leave that to you guys in the comments. Who do you think is going to be the new United number 10 for next season?
Cheers for that, Dave. If you like Statman Dave and you like stats and you like your football in a bit of a strange way, then go and check out his channel and go and subscribe. Really good channel on YouTube there. He's right, talking about Michael Carrick, Wayne Rooney. There's a lot of players in the Manchester United squad now that are really starting to look their age. And I think Jose's probably going to clear out a hell of a lot of them. And I don't like just turning to the transfer market to try and solve a lot of the problems. I think we've still got the answers in the squad at the moment that we can do with, but he's not played enough all season. He's not rotated earlier on in the season. I think he probably could have seen this coming, the stuff that's been coming. We've been talking about it, players needing a rest earlier in the season. We've gone on this incredible unbeaten run, but ultimately it's not led to anything. It's still in our hands, regardless of how the Liverpool game goes. I still think Manchester United can do it. But anyway, that's enough of me talking. Let's see what some other Manchester United fans have got to say in United on YouTube. All right, maybe it's not. Maybe it's the fan cams. Maybe I'm just lying.
Right outside Old Trafford, it's another draw, the 10th home league draw of the season. Does that say all about our season?
Yeah, I think it does actually. I mean, we are United. If we can't put a second string out and beat a team like Swansea who are going down, there's something wrong.
Josie's been saying for so long now that it's Europa League, Europa League. The players must have it in their head now, it's Europa League or bust.
I think this is 9th home draw.
10th.
10th, even worse.
It's worse.
It's even worse.
And I think with someone like Michael Carrick today, you expected him to play the quick passes and play it forward and play it to the attackers, and it just didn't happen enough. How many times did Ash Young beat his man 1v1, yet we were just taking an age in midfield to get it to him?
I thought it was really slow today as well. Like there'd be times where someone would be free in space, Ashley Young mainly, and someone would get the ball, the pass is on straight away, and they'd either play a slow pass or they'd take 2 touches.
When Rashford gone down when we won a penalty, it was a dive. The keeper never touched him, but it's good to...
You care?
No.
And I think we've got Mourinho's team next year, which is absolutely fantastic for United. I think Smalling's going to move on, Jones may move on, Darmian may move on, and Fellaini. And I think there's going to be no excuses next year. Champions League, and it's going to be Mourinho's team next year. And De Gea is obviously you can't blame the lad. He's going to back home. He's going back home, and he's given us good service like Ronaldo did. They always end up at Real Madrid, and you can't do nothing about that, mate. But guess what? This time we're going to get something back. We're going to get something off Madrid.
We are missing Pogba. It's shown in the last 2 games.
I don't think their free kicks are even good. It's not curled, it's not driven, it's just gone over the wall and it's just gone in. It's just disappointing, man.
Some of you guys in the comments here talking about the transfers that we need to get. Someone mentioned James Rodriguez and Griezmann. How do you see James Rodriguez and Griezmann fitting into a side that's already got Mkhitaryan, already got Mata, already got Marshall, already got Rashford? Unless he's going to play like 6 up front, and this is Jose Mourinho we're talking about here, I'm not sure how that happens. And I don't always want to try and turn to the transfer market. I am sick of clubs, including Manchester United, turning to the transfer market and paying the biggest amount of money that we can possible to try and fix solutions. It's not sustainable, and it's not the Manchester United way. You complement youth with homegrown, top-level talent and decent signings, and that's what Manchester United needs to be doing. Anyway, here is United on YouTube, and I'm not lying to you this time.
Hello viewers, Simon Preston here again from Reggae Boys Commentary. Manchester United 1, Swansea City 1.
Absolutely shocking result and a shocking performance. Not only, it wasn't one of those games where we had loads of chances we didn't finish them off. Swansea played us off a park.
I don't think it's that bad actually, because City drew and Arsenal lost. And Liverpool is always going to be Liverpool. They're always going to drop points. I don't see them winning their next 4 games.
The good news, well, 25 games unbeaten now in the Premier League, a new record. But the bad news, the 10th draw at Old Trafford. Absolutely frustrating, I tell you. But, we're still in the top 4 race. Let's not give up as yet, because Liverpool, we know how they are against the smaller teams, and we know that we can get back in the top 4.
We ran out of ideas after maybe 10 minutes. We lacked quality, we lacked creativity. It was just absolutely shocking. What's worse as well is that Man City drew.
Eric Bailly, big miss. I think he's been our best player lately, and the other guys fought hard, tried hard. No fuel left in the tank. And Rooney, come on, what are you doing, man?
With all the injuries around as well, Eric Bailly coming off today, Axel Tuanzebe is going to have to play a role soon. And Axel Tuanzebe, a message to you. I know that this country wants you for the Under-20 FIFA World Cup coming up in South Korea, but I tell you what, this team needs you more than ever.
Just like quality, we need to make some major. We need to sign some major names in the summer.
Come on, United, we're going to get back in the top 4.
Simon, I admire your optimism. I'm not sure that we are going to get top 4 at the moment. Anyway, we are definitely relying on other people at the moment. But this is a crazy season and anything could happen, couldn't it? Will Vouse in the comments asking if this is live. If this was pre-recorded, don't you think maybe we wouldn't have got the things wrong that we got wrong earlier? It's live, mate, trust me. Anyway, here's a free word reviews from the world of social media. Oh, Ben, let's go champ. But there's no champs here. We are not ready to be champs just yet. But anyway, you lot are all champs. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button. Subscribe. And I'll see you next week for more draws. Thank you for watching. See you later.